Hi guys, in this video I'm going to discuss strokes. If you look in the Raiders packet, there is a definition for each type of stroke that we use. I'm going to give you my own definitions. These are going to be different and they're going to be very helpful in the way that we approach drumming. If you look in the book, it has 4 different strokes: full, down, tap, and upstroke. I'm going to eliminate the tap stroke and use that synonymously with a full stroke. And when I say full stroke, what I mean is any time the stick starts at a height and ends at that same height within one stroke. It starts at 12, ends at 12, starts at 9, ends at 9, starts at 6, ends at 6, starts at 3, ends at 3. And if you think about this within your music, if you think about it, if you have a phrase that is all up, it's all at 12 inches, those would be full strokes. So a full stroke is any time a stick starts and ends at the same height within one stroke. A downstroke is when the stick starts at a height and ends at a lower height within one stroke. If it starts at 12, ends at 3. That's typically what we'd use as a downstroke. I'm going to further that by saying if it starts at 12, ends at 9. If it starts at 12, ends at 6 inches. If you're looking in your music and you have an accent followed by some taps, that would be an obvious downstroke. But if you have an accent followed by a 6-inch flam, so a 12-inch accent, a 3-inch tap with your left hand, and then a 6-inch flam off your right hand, that would be a downstroke also. A downstroke is when the stick starts at one point and ends at a lower point. Any lower point. Now my last stroke is the upstroke, which is when the stick starts at a height and ends at any higher height than it started within that stroke. So if it starts at 3, goes to 12, well, that's more like 15, then that's obviously what we think of as an upstroke. But if it starts at 3 and ends at 6, that's still an upstroke. So if you're playing a tap followed by a flam, you go tap right-handed flam, that would be an upstroke. Now these are my own definitions, and this is going to help us with our approach to drumming. It's going to help us understand how the stick flows from note to note so that the energy is constantly moving, it is never stopping, and we have to restart that energy. This will make the stick continuously move, and the only stopping point we'll ever see is if we're playing really slow and the stick stops up in the air. Like this. Dun, 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 digga, digga, digga. That might be the only time. We don't want the stick to always be moving up and down. We want to see it stop at the top, which means we have to use a lot of energy to get these strokes. This energy comes from mostly back fingers, the spidey grip, and your wrist. Now this is going to help in the movement from drum to drum, because as you use these strokes and the rebound, you can use that to get from one drum to the next drum. That will connect the drums together so that all the notes flow evenly across. We don't want to do a lot of downstrokes that are squeezed and die because you're gripping the stick too hard. We want the stick to rebound by letting go just a hair of the stick when it hits the drum so that the stick can vibrate and bounce back up to whatever height we need it to. When you do this, you can use that bounce to go towards your next drum. This is going to make the sticks flow a lot better as we're going from drum to drum. If we don't do it, it's going to look really choppy. We don't want to play like that. Some groups play like that, and that is their approach. That's their technique. This is not ours. If you watch Cavaliers, that tends to be their technique and their approach throughout the years, ever since like late 1900s. we want ours to be flowed. We want to use lots of rebound, connecting each note in the music. If you don't understand anything, please go back, watch this video again. If it still doesn't make sense, email me. Thanks for watching, guys.